The web imagery that I like to make is actually pretty simple. There's only one rule, and that is no sharp corners. So no matter what I do, I want to make sure that I round off my corners. I can start out with any kind of line or shape. I'm going to go ahead and just do an oval. I'm going to go ahead and thicken that line just a little bit. So I want to have some thick lines and I want to have some thin lines. That creates a lot of visual interest in my piece. And then I want to branch out to start to create the web. And I can have the line go as long or short as I want. I can have it go off the page, it can stay on the page, it really doesn't matter. And then again, my only rule is that I have no sharp corners, so I'm going to round off these corners here where the line meets the oval. And then maybe have another branch come out this way. Maybe this time I want the line to be just a little bit thicker. And I'm using a marker, but you can use any kind of material, a pen, a pencil, a marker, paint. It really doesn't matter. This works really well. If you do use paint, you might want to have a thinner kind of paint like fluid acrylic or like watercolor. So again, I'm just rounding off my corners. Now maybe I want to connect these two. So I'm going to draw a line over, round off my corners, round them off, and maybe make a branch that comes this way. And then maybe I want to have a line that branches this way. And then I'm going to round off my corners. And then thicken this line a little bit. Now maybe I want this to come over and branch over to that, so I'm going to draw a curved line in. And thicken that line up a bit. And again, I'm going to round off my corners. And then I can even think about dividing spaces. So this is a long skinny space, so maybe I want to divide it in half. Again, round off my corners. I can divide it again. I can divide it as much or as little as I want. But just remember to always have my curved corners. I can even divide it up and have really tiny spaces. Again, having some big spaces and some small spaces adds a lot of visual interest to it. And I can draw in some shapes, so maybe I want to do an oval right here. Again, I might want to thicken up my lines a bit. Again, make sure that I don't have any curved spaces. Maybe I'm going to leave a little dot right there, a little open space. Maybe connect that. Round off my corners. Connect that. Round off these corners. So really I could do this as much or little as I want and fill up as much of the space that I want. Having some long lines, some short lines, some big spaces, some little spaces. But again, my only rule is that I'm not leaving any sharp corners, and that really creates my web. And the more lines I put in, the more details, the more of the web. And I just continue that until I fill up all the space. The completed web image. Notice how I filled the space, let it go off all four sides. Lots of small spaces, lots of big spaces, some thin lines, some thick lines. And that's all there is to it.